What's up, guys? And today I'm trying to remember what I was doing the last time. I know I was doing some beastly sand collecting. So I think the last thing I left off on was talking about meditation, and I haven't finished my thoughts on that whole meditation ordeal, because you can't really finish the thoughts on, at least there's so many thoughts I have about that I don't think I could ever. I should probably make some more stoves, but I don't think I could ever fully explain to you guys everything about that subject from my own experience, because it just can't be told. I mean, there's too much information for you guys that you guys would never get it. You'd need all the experience that I've gone through. You'd need like all of the. I would have to explain to you 25 years worth of life, or 26 years worth of life to you guys, which would take me 26 years to say. So instead, my main goal here is to help you guys. Well, not help you guys, just maybe point out a few things, because you guys will learn your own lessons in your own life, and you'll obviously be totally different than mine. I mean, you guys will learn a lot different things. Some of you are a lot younger than I am, so you might end up, there might be a paradigm shift by the time I get older and you guys get older. You never know what kind of information's going to be out there at that point. So that's what's awesome about human life, is we evolve, and it's never the same. Like every generation, things change. That's why there can't be truth. Like there is no truth other than the moment we are in right now. And with that said, that's another point that makes things like religion and books about things that claim to be true not even feasible. Like there's no way that the truth can remain the same through all of time. It always is going to change, and reality can change however it wants to at any moment in time. Everything can all of a sudden just become non-existent again. Also, I was thinking about just in general, like life outside of the Earth. Like, we defined that life existed. It wasn't that we made life exist. We made it exist in our minds as a thought. It's part of our thought process, is that life exists. Now, whether that's true or not, that's just a measure of that's just a concept we have in our mind, that life exists. Now, when you think about it, our definition of life is probably super minuscule. It probably doesn't define entirely what life actually is. So hold on, I need to turn this music down. It's just so loud. Let me see, music. Jesus. I know it likes to come in at opportune times, but right now it's just blasting in my ears. So, and there's no way that we can be the only life out there. I mean, there's probably life out there that's been around longer than than our solar system has even been in orbit. That's an obvious thing, is that the universe is infinite. So obviously it goes above and beyond everything that we've ever thought about. Like our minds are really small in comparison to what we can absorb and what we can keep in our minds as intelligence. information, because we only have so much. And I actually heard a study, not a study, but I heard about this. Oh, I'm gonna make a glass. I'm gonna put glass around my pool. But I heard that there's implants now that they can give to you that you could essentially that you could increase your memory. Like if you have a memory bank, and you just think about your brain as a memory bank, and they have the technology now to basically give you more memory. And I don't know how long it's going to be until they can actually watch your memory, which is kind of crazy. When you think about it, I mean, the technology is getting so crazy. It won't be long until they can actually access your memory. And I wouldn't be surprised if the government already can access your memory. That's a very freeing thought, is to know that your memories are not private. So if we can think about it now, we can conceptualize that now, who says that it doesn't exist? The government has so much technology at their hands, and who knows if we're not already talking to or communicating with things or life that is beyond us. Who knows? The government hides a lot of things because I think people now more than ever are ready for knowledge knowledge about other life forms outside of ours. Obviously, if it would definitely shake up the world entirely and it would change all of us for the better, in my opinion. So this new generation of people, I think that's kind of why they have all the alien stuff out now, is just because all the alien movies and stuff like that, is because they're probably preparing every human person to accept the fact that we're not alone in this universe. We're not alone in existence. We're not the only things out there. It's a very arrogant human thing to think, is that that we're the only forms of life in the universe. I think it's an amazing thing, and I can't wait to learn more about as things get uncovered and as things get revealed to the public, more and more about what's out there. Because I definitely, the best thing about life is variety. Variety is the spice of life. It's a corny saying, but it's true. I mean, the more variety we have, the more life is grand. The more grand life is, and the more amazing it is to be alive, and the more we get inspired to create, be creative, just do all sorts of new things with what we already have and what we already know. It's like when someone finds a new way to play an instrument, or someone finds a new way to rehash an old art form, kind of like how hip hop is sort of like poetry, but a new modernized version of poetry, and it has like rhythm and beat, and someone figured that out, and it became a style, and all of a sudden now it's a big part of life in general, of other people's lives. And it's an amazing thing to have stuff like that come out, and I can't wait to see as we find new life forms, even if they're not intelligent life forms. If we find other life forms, that's just one step. That's a huge step forward in our thought process. Wow, how can the Bible's based around the character Jesus, or at least Christianity is based around the idea of Jesus. Now imagine if we found out that all life doesn't need to have a Jesus there to or human. I'm trying to say it without offending people. I guess I shouldn't even care. I mean, to be honest, to people who are listening, I'm sure you guys understand that I'm just speaking from my own experience, from my own experience, me being a Christian from the past. So I'm not going to filter myself anymore. I'm just going to say it. I think that I think to think, stuff like Christianity, stuff like religion just holds us back. It holds everyone back from learning more about the variety of life and life itself, like Mother Nature. And when I say Mother Nature, I don't think of a mother or, actual woman or something like that. I'm thinking of nature itself. I'm thinking about um just in general existence, the general existence of things to me is nature. And even just watching Minecraft, to me this is nature. Even though it's not like outdoor nature, like the depiction of nature when it's depicted to you on in some sort of poster or something. But for me, this is nature. It's nature. It's the nature of us. It's our behavior and our ingenuity to create things where we can create a world and a concept of a world. And imagine like if an alien came and they saw you guys watching a video of Minecraft, like, what do you think they'd be like? What is that? Or these people are weird? Or you know if you think about it in those terms, like, maybe we are definitely weird. I remember, what is it, Mortal Kombat, Goro and the other guys, Mataro and Kintaro and all those guys, Baraka. No, not Baraka. I think it's just Goro and Mataro. They're from the Outworld, and they always like, humans look better like when we smash them up and stuff like that. I just laugh at that because to me, that's how we would feel about aliens. Is like, we would be like, man, these aliens look better when we can relate to them. Oh man, that scared me so much. But these aliens look better if they're more human-esque. And obviously, if there are humans out there and they look entirely different than us, we're going to accept who they are, but we're not going to think that they're beautiful things or beings, even though, just existence in general, just being itself is, a beautiful thing. Just having existence exist is is a beautiful thing. And I think a lot of people miss out on that, which is kind of sad. Let me see here. Let's get some more sand going. Got some and the reason why I say existence itself is amazing is just like I said before. Did I drop that? No. Like I said before, like, existence is it can't be explained. It can't be like, it's just something that is known. It's not something that that you can write books about. You can, and it's never ending, which is amazing. I started watching or I started reading some of Darwin's books, his biology books, and I mean, it was like a whole new language. I just literally did not understand a word of it. I thought it would be I was like, it's English. I mean, it's the English language. I should be able to understand it for, at least a little bit. And ended up being not the case. It was just, it was insane. Like, I literally didn't know at all, like, what was being said or what was being, taught. I couldn't understand it. Man, I can't get up this ladder at all. Let me see if I'm trying to get on top of this. Trying to get on top of this thing so I can build more. Maybe if I drop down. Yeah, right here is good. There we go. So, just a little bit to think about is, we can't be the only things out there. There has to be more life. There has to be civilizations. Kind of like what I watched Green Lantern. That movie, kind of, it shows almost literally like how aliens would, how we think aliens would be based on our experience here and based on our behavior. I could imagine these, like on there they had, some aliens that were like lower form, but all these aliens pretty much were pretty they've been around for much longer than we are, and they know it. So they just they just had no faith in us. They thought we were super savage. They had no faith that we would be able to, be part of their lantern group, because we were way too young to get involved in, cosmic problems, like the problem with the one immortal guy. That, if you guys haven't seen the movie, I don't want to spoil anything, but to basically summarize, there's aliens in that movie, and they have this thing called the Green Lantern. I'm just gonna explain up to where the demo or the trailer starts and stops. But there's these aliens who pretty much think we're lower forms of life. Oh, I better, I'll finish this up real here. Then God damn it. Then I'll head back up and rest so you guys can see. But basically, the Green Lantern is a group that takes care of intergalactic problems using the will as its main driving force. And will is actually a very powerful thing to hone, especially the human will, the human spirit. There's something in the Bible that says that if you forsake Jesus, you can forsake God, and you can be forgiven for those things. But if you forsake the Holy Ghost, then you can never be forgiven. That is the one thing that you can't be forgiven of. And the way I understood the Holy Ghost, I didn't see. When there's something going around saying like you will never be forgiven if you do this, like, you want to know what it is. You want to know exactly what to stay clear from, because you're just in fear that you might accidentally one day forsake it or something. And I found in my own, just thinking about and conceptualizing what the ideas that were said in the Bible during the time I was religious. It was under my understanding that the Holy Spirit was basically the human spirit, and that I'm not gonna be able to make that. Man, how am I gonna get up there? I guess I can use dirt. But the human spirit is the Holy Spirit. That is the one thing that you can never forsake, because it's you don't want to forsake yourself. And if you ever give up on yourself, then giving up on yourself cannot be forgiven. That's basically what that passage was saying, is giving up on your human spirit is the one thing that you cannot be forgiven from. And that's a very wise saying for that time. But that just proves that that's like a universal concept, is giving up on your own existence. Pretty much is just unforgivable. It's just something that is if you do that, like, you might as well just not want to exist, I guess. I don't know. But even not wanting to exist is an expression of life, which is pretty funny. It's pretty funny that that's an actual expression of life, that that means that you're human, you're alive. So I've been thinking about life outside of our own, and how people why can't people just understand that maybe they aren't the only ones. Maybe the world doesn't or the universe doesn't revolve around them, but it does. The thing is, like, your life and the reason you exist is because you conceptualize the idea of existing. The only reason you think you're alive is because you can think that, like it. It's hard to explain. I mean, to me, it's like a very arrogant notion, but at the same time, it's understandable because it's the only thing we really can do as human beings, as conscious beings, is just know that we're here. Um, it's pretty weird to think about that stuff, and it's also kind of far-fetched that we can actually conceptualize life outside of our own without ever even seeing it. So where did those ideas come from? That's another question, is where did the idea of life outside of the earth, where did that idea come from? Did that come from us? Did that come from the not the invention, but the finding out that there was space, the discovery of space and time? Like, how did the idea even come up, in ancient times? Because there's a lot, there are a lot of artifacts that say that there are people that, in the past that have visited us. And there's a lot of mentions about, beings, gods, special beings outside of our own that, visit us. So how do we know that? How did we even come up with that concept before we even found, explored space at all? Without knowing for sure, how did we come up with that concept? There has to be a reason for that. And I think that answer will essentially answer the thing that we are all looking for, is the answer to the why we are alive, why we exist, and what is our purpose. And we're all desperate. We're all desperate for this answer. So since in our desperation, we'll go around making stories about gods, about things that are outside of human life, and that's how we get by. That's how we get by in our own lives, is thinking that there's life outside of our own, and that there's a greater picture, and that maybe we aren't the only things that exist out there. And that's wonderful, but are we ready to fully accept that concept? Are we ready to fully see all of that manifest before us? Are we ready to actually, take in the fact that there are aliens, and, maybe we have been communicating with them? Maybe there aren't aliens. Maybe we are the only things out there. Are we ready to know that knowledge? That's what's holding back. That's what's holding us all back. It's not the idea of religion. It's that concept. Are we ready to fully embrace the universe? And it's a lot for, a human being to take on. It's a lot for your mind to take, because you can't fit the universe in your mind. We can't ever know everything. And because of that, it could shock us, maybe there's things happening outside of us. Maybe we are, because it's kind of like you're now blind to the universe. Now that you're blind, what's happening to you? Are you getting raped? I think that's the idea too. Another idea is, people might, freak out and think they're being destroyed on some level that they can't control. And humans are very, very insecure, very unstable. That's why I like people who are who talk about, or who try to help people stabilize their mentality, like Cesar Millan, the person I always mention, the dog whisperer. He always his one goal in life is to balance people out. And he does an amazing job at it. He does an amazing job at balancing people, and he will continue to do that, and that is his life purpose. And I believe that, there are some people on earth who inherently know their role as, in existence. So since they know that, and if they embrace it, then they become one of these people that we acknowledge as superhuman. And, there are people out there that become our role models. There are people out there who are our leaders. Who knows where their inspiration for their work comes from? Who cares? The people who care, everybody around that knows the energy they're bringing, with their teachings, with whatever they're bringing to the rest of humankind. It's an amazing thing. So in this Minecraft video, for you guys listening, I appreciate you guys listening as well. You guys are like my number one viewers. I love you guys. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense to you guys. I don't know if you guys just like listening to my voice. I don't know if, it's just calming to, out of all the craziness that happens and all the videos you guys watch on, on YouTube, if these ones maybe calm you down. I know I try to, every time I get on Minecraft and want to do a video like this, I always sit down and I somewhat meditate, not really meditate. I sort of just calm myself to the point where I can think clearly, and I drink a lot of water. I just keep myself as stable as I can so that when I talk to you guys, what comes out will not be misconstrued, will not be censored. But, it's hard to post videos on the internet and not know that you're going to get a lot of criticism and you're going to get, just a world of people who don't understand you, who don't understand what you're talking about and don't want to understand. So all of a sudden they become, they become malicious towards you. They don't want to accept you. And I myself, I really don't care about, like, deep down, when it comes down to it, I'm just like, whatever. These are just videos. Like, these are just, funny little gaming videos for you guys to watch. Oh, goddamn, girl, you got a fat ass. How serious can a video be if I'm saying stuff like that, So, walking on the glass. Let's get some upskirt shots. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be a deep person, or I'm not trying to pretend that I'm anything that I'm not for you guys, just so you guys, for your entertainment. But I'm just making videos that I think I would like to watch. I think I would like to hear someone talking about things like that, because they're on my mind. And just even listening to myself talk about these things is interesting as I'm doing it. Like, wow, I'm saying things that I didn't realize earlier. Like, I knew I was going to talk about these things, but where is this all coming from? Where is all the things that I'm talking to you guys about? Where is all that coming from? Is that coming from, some suppressed thoughts? Is that coming from dreams I've had in the past? Is that coming just straight out of, movies and videos and stuff like that? Or is it coming out from something within me? Is it knowledge, or is it just a bunch of rambling? I don't know. To some people it is knowledge. To some people it is rambling. To some people, they're just sitting there enjoying the moment. They're enjoying the fact that I posted a video and, there's something for them to watch, so they don't have to go out and find entertainment because I'm bringing it to them. And I love all those I love all of those results. That means that, I can continue doing it. And another thing about making videos, especially videos that go into things that people don't normally speak about. Oh, and I just realized I can't jump into my pool anymore from the top. But that's fine. I like glass better. Another thing about making videos is that when you make a video, like when I'm talking to you guys, I'm really talking to myself. Like that's obvious, but you guys get to listen in, which is, it's a little insane to think about, that fact, but then again, like, who says it's a bad thing? And who says that you aren't me? Who says that you are something other than me? And I'm going to start. Okay, I have another topic. The topic of God. The topic of God, I know a lot of people want to know my thoughts on who God is or what God is, or, where did the idea of God come from? For me, God is everything. And when I say God, there's no reason to worship God. There's no reason to bow your head down and close your eyes and chant things. There's no reason for that. If God is truly as powerful as described or as thought of, as most people think in their minds, or as most people believe, then he already knows everything that you're going to say and anything that you come to him with. I saw a hilarious quote by this guy Muji that said, if you want to give God a good laugh, tell him about your future plans. And that saying alone is just, it's so funny. It's so true too. I mean, what can you tell God? You can scream at God, you can say all that you want to God, but in the end, for him, he's probably just gonna laugh. And for me, I don't think the idea of God. I don't think I don't believe in a God that we can understand. I don't believe in a God that is described in any book. All right, and I don't believe in I don't believe even in the concept of God. Because if there is a God, obviously we would never, I'm going to go collect some dirt. Sorry, guys. But we would never be able, because I want to get some more glass and fill up all that glass. But we would never be able to understand just even the idea of God. So for me trying to explain it to you guys, the best way that I can explain it to you guys is using the I guess analogy of a cell to the body. Imagine if each individual cell was conscious and each cell was essentially a being that helps, construct a larger being. Much like a cell, a bunch of cells, our body isn't just one cell. It's an entire grouping of cells. And with that concept there, imagine that you are one of those cells. Now, how would you or a group of cells ever be able to know what God is entirely? Because you cannot go outside. You can never go on his scale. God is on a different scale of life, which is the entirety of the universe, the entirety of infinity. And there is no mingling going on, because you are and everyone is, and everything that happens, all the good things and bad things that happen in life are all part of him, of God's existence. There is no way that you can ever see God. There's no way you can conceptualize God. There's no way that, that you can, know what God is ever. Oh, and here's some coal. Good. I hope there's more around it. But you can never know what God is, because you are just a little eensy-weensy particle of God. But the thing is, like, you are conscious of your surroundings. And when you realize that everything is God, then nothing is that important anymore. Nothing becomes important. There's no reason for things to be important. And the reason I say that is because since we are all essentially part of one ever-changing organism, then there's no reason for us to even quarrel about in our lives trying to fix everything, because it's just going to happen the way it happens. You can control it, somewhat, and you can control that by will. And if you yourself have, the human will, the human, which is why they say you can't, or the Holy Spirit, like I said before, is something that you won't be forgiven of, is because you can't deny yourself. If you deny yourself, it's not that you're going to hell. And like I said before, hell is a state of mind. Hell is essentially, you in hell is essentially you in the concept of the worst thing that could ever happen to you, which is being forgotten. And being forgotten is hell. That is an aspect of hell. There's a larger hell to hell itself, because your hell and someone else's idea of hell are not the same. The other person's idea of hell might be way more serious than yours. It might be, because we all have different levels of expression, that my hell and your hell, my hell might be a lot crazier than your hell. Your hell might be a lot crazier than mine. Who knows? But what I'm saying is that, the concept of hell is only as extreme as you make it out to be. And your hell is going to be, hell for you. Some people, it might not be hell to them. Some people might enjoy your hell. For you, hell might be getting chained up and, I don't know, like getting chained up and whipped and being yelled at and screamed at. Some people, do that for a living. Some people do that because they get aroused by it. But your hell is never going to be as insane as it can possibly get. And there can never be a hell that you can be threatened by that would scare you into, essentially being what is thought of as a good person. Because there is no good, there is no evil. Those are all ideas that we've constructed. Those are all ideas that we came up with, just to live, just to socialize amongst each other. That's not really there's no good and there is no evil. Good and evil are a part of the entire wholeness of what God is, like I said to you guys before. So if you guys think about, good and evil, they're pretty much the same thing. They're just different frequencies of emotion. So I better head back. So when you guys think about, when I think about these things, I always try and, sit back and just say, you know what? Even if I do understand it at some point, even if I were to understand everything in the universe, my mind is so spoiled by information that I would say, okay, what's next? Even if I knew everything in the universe, I would probably end up saying what's next. Which is why, like I said before, truth can never be said entirely. Truth can never be put down on paper. Truth can never be known. Truth is beyond everything. Truth is absolutely nothing. So when it wraps around like the idea, and that might be circular logic, but what I'm saying is that basically truth is only true to yourself. Okay, I'm going to continue this with you guys. Obviously, Jesus. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's visiting Arizona, and he's here in Arizona. So I'm gonna go meet with him, and maybe I'll record some conversation with him and put it up on my channel if we're lucky. But I hope you guys have an epic day, and peace out. Well, I just got off the phone with with obviously Jesus, and he said that he's gonna be heading out. He has to be somewhere, he has to be in the next city soon, just because he has dinner plans in an entirely different city. So I'm gonna probably be meeting him up another time. When he's flying out, he's gonna be in Arizona for a week, which is pretty awesome. I love this place. Okay, what are we? Let me see. I gotta cook up some more glass, and also I need to find some more. Let me see. Let me cook up some more glass. I don't think I have enough coal, so I'm gonna have to go out and look for some coal. Which means more epic cave diving. Ah. Oh, let me give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Just a little sidetrack right now. And I was talking to obviously Jesus about the weather out here in Arizona, and he's actually heading up to Caduceus. It's if you guys are familiar with the band Tool, Maynard, the singer, he owns a winery out by Sedona, Arizona, and he basically, obviously Jesus wants to go visit that winery to check it out. Obviously because it's Tool, and because Maynard, one of the most amazing singers to ever grace us with his lungs, with his awesome talent. And so I was trying to figure out where it was. I was Googling it for him. It's in Jerome, Arizona, near where he is going to be tonight for dinner. So I don't know, maybe he's gonna go check it out. That'd be awesome. Maybe I'll make a video for you guys. And I need a faster way. I need to get some more coal right now. I don't know where there's coal. Oh, there's some right there. Speak of the coal devil. Oh, another thing I mentioned. Give me 1 second. So I was telling him that I was like, maybe now you understand why people worship the sun. Because right now outside it's like 100 and I forget how many degrees. It's like 120 degrees pretty much. Right now as I'm talking to you guys, it is really insanely hot. And I actually went out to go get something to eat. I usually go out to this place called Teriyaki Experience. It's a nice little place. I don't know if you guys know what it is. I don't know how many of them are out there in the world, but it's a pretty cool place. It's a teppanyaki place, and you can get some awesome food there. And they sell rice bowls, basic rice bowls. They're not like anything ridiculous or out of the norm. But I just went there for a little while, and I started sweating. I was questioning whether I'd be able to make it back to my car or not. I actually I had my air conditioner on max, and I never put it on max. It was crazy, ridiculously hot outside. But it's amazing weather. Love Arizona. Love living here. It's a blessing to live here. I don't know how people can. I mean, I love here because you don't have to wear jackets and stuff. It's just so awesome. Oh, it's way up there. I don't remember the last time I wore a jacket, like an actual sweater or anything like that. It's been a long time. And I don't think I really care to ever wear a jacket anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna leave Arizona. I love it out here. It's just an awesome place. The weather's nice. There's no humidity. there's no cold weather really. I mean, it gets cold, but not really that cold. Unless you live in North Arizona where it's really it's basically a mountain. It's in the Rocky Mountains. If you guys don't know, if you guys want to, you can Google that if you don't know what that is. But the Rocky Mountains are, you know, the mountains on the, you know, where all the skiing stuff happens. Just look it up. Just look up Rocky Mountains. You guys can see that. I'm sure you guys learned about it in school. Anyway, I was talking to obviously Jesus about. I was just telling him that, like, I hope you understand like why people worship the sun now as God, because it's beasting right now. It is so hot outside. It was pretty funny. So, let's see here. Get down from here. I forgot I have it on peaceful. I don't have to care about dropping down. Ah, man. I was having like I was really hyped to go out and see obviously Jesus, but you know, he's going to go he'll be back in town he'll be back in town next week, and we'll meet up then. Maybe I don't know what kind of things I'll plan something like, you know, not something crazy, but just, you know, something that we can make some sort of video that we can make together or something. I don't know, maybe something like that. Who knows? If he's up to it, we'll do it. And I know you guys really like Minecraft, so it's been a while. I'm sorry I haven't made one in a while. It's just because, well, not one of these really massive ones, but I just felt like doing one today because, you know, a lot of people were requesting it, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to make one. And I didn't know what else to do. I mean, you guys, I could go out and explore, but I kind of want to build this into like a glass sort of city almost. So just to get something built out of this epic place, and something that, you know, that if someone's watching Minecraft from the beginning and then they look at it now, they'll be like, whoa, he built a lot during the time that I'm sure there's other people who would build a lot faster than I do. But, you know, like I said before, I'm not looking to end this series anytime soon. This is just me doing this until I don't even know if I'll ever stop. I might just continue this series and just keep it going and see how many I can do. Maybe I'll do 100. That would be insane. 100 episodes. How many movies would I make? This would be epic. That'd just be epic just to have on my channel in general. Like, this guy did 100 of these videos, and each one he talked about a different subject. Man, that's a lot of work. I just imagine someone saying that, sitting in their, you know, in their chair, like looking at my channel for the first time, like, whoa, this guy has a lot of videos. Be pretty funny. I love that reaction when people are like, man, you put a lot of work into your stuff, and I see, like, you know, you got commentaries up for days. Man, see, that's the sort of stuff that I want to inspire you guys to do. Is like, you know, if you want to start up your own channel, make videos. Just make them. Who cares? You know, just make them and post them. Make them and post them. You'll get better. You'll get better. You'll get better. It's the same thing as like thinking about, you know, concepts. The more you think about concepts on your own, the more you start to you know, internalize things in your own space and become your own master, the better, the more efficient you will be at coming up with your own theories. You know, you'll start to enjoy thinking about, you know, things that you never really thought about before. And I want to close this off, but you get better at it, and that's just how life is in general. You after you learn and experience things, obviously you become, you know, your own master, your own guru. You don't have to ask anyone for any answers. Like, they all come to you, and who knows where they come from. Sometimes they come from your mind, sometimes they come from things outside of you that you never knew existed. Sometimes they don't come at all, but you know, that doesn't happen all the time. I'm gonna make this like a little stairwell that you can go down and go up here, and make another stairwell that goes up here, stairwell that goes up here. Yeah, that's what I'll do next. Start creating these stairwells so I can move around in this house a lot easier. Go down this to be a stairwell down here, then a stairwell back up here. Then I can go over here, extend this downward, clear out all this, make some stairs in here. Be awesome. So let me take a nap so we can get back to day. So when you guys think about when you guys are done watching this video and you're back to just thinking of, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're thinking about what I said, maybe you're not, maybe you just watched the video, you're like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Then you know, try and think about your own concepts. Try and think about things that you would want to, that you've been pondering about. Don't censor yourself. Let me see here. All right, I think I can do something a little cool with this. Let's see, how can I do this to make this look awesome? Maybe I could just close it off from here. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So I think I've covered enough about the idea of God, the concept of God, at least my own perspective on the matter, my own opinion about what God is. And I just hope you guys can, you know, come to your own conclusions. You don't even trust me as far as, you know, the concept of God. Think about it for yourself. Think about if you were, okay, think about this. Like, say you were in space all alone. There was nothing around you. There was, you know, everything was just space. Everything was quiet. There was nothing in existence. Now, would you want to create puppets and play by yourself? Or would you create beings that could act out and do things on their own? Would you create beings that there's a possibility they'll go to war and destroy themselves? And how much would you want to save them if they were to try and destroy themselves? Now, imagine if you were, if they started to question whether you existed or not. How would they even know that you were there to begin with? Who told them? Who gave them the concept or the idea that you existed? Why would you exist? Why would you create these beings and then never interact with them, never respond to them? Why would you respond to them in mysterious ways? There's so many questions that just don't make sense, right? For me, the answers to all those things are very, very clear. But the answers to them, you know, for other people, I don't think that it's clear for people. I just don't think they understand it, which is why they begin to hate, which is why they begin to, you know, to become like basically trolls. For me, I think when I'm thinking about God, and you know, I don't imagine him as this being in space that's playing with puppets. I believe that he is the entire universe. We are a part of him, and as he grows as an organism, we grow individually. And as he gets more complex, the universe and everything with it becomes more complex and just continues to get more and more complex because it's amazing to harness the just life in general, to harness all that creativity, to just have things be spontaneous. Spontaneity is life. How many times have you tried to think about a solution for something and it never came to you until you stopped thinking about it? How many times have you went out to actively search for somebody to be your companion, and the best person that you've ever met in your life, the best girlfriend, boyfriend that you've ever had, was someone you found when you weren't even looking? Somebody you found when you weren't expecting or intending for yourself to find somebody. You go on these speed dates. And these speed dates, you're supposed to meet people in a fraction in an unnatural setting, in a very weird way, I guess. I still don't know what I'm going to do with this room, but so imagine you're sitting there and you're like, I'm going to find the best girl ever. And she's going to be so amazing, and I'm going to find her speed dating. And we might say that, it's funny that people do that, but you never know if you're going to ever do it yourself. I thought it was funny that people went on Craigslist for girlfriends and all that. But I know a couple that actually got married because they met each other on Craigslist. Now I don't know what she was offering when she met him on Craigslist. I'm playing. He probably listened to this right now, but no, I'm just saying, like, it's crazy that that things like that happen, and that's part of the whole idea again of spontaneousness, like, not finding people where you're looking for them. But for him, like, I think it was different because it was, I don't know what or why they met, but for some reason they did on Craigslist. I think they were just trying to find friends, to I don't know, but he did. I know he used to go on a lot of like eHarmony sites and stuff like that. But it's just pretty wild that, to think that someone would believe that God would make puppets for himself to play with. That's just weird. Like, there's no way that would happen. God has no plans for you. The idea that a God would want plans for you or create plans for you is just crazy. And that's something that people don't want to accept, is that fact that maybe that's just not, what real, maybe we just don't understand it. Maybe we can't understand it, but the more you think about it, even just logically thinking about it, it sort of answers itself. And since we are God, we should probably understand that more than he does himself. But like I said, the idea of God for me is just the entire universe itself, and we are just a spectacle of the entire workings of it. And with that said, it doesn't go against like scientific reasoning, because obviously if we are part of the entire universe, it really just, it can't be rebutted, really. But there are people who are out there who think that God is like this guy up in the sky that is watching our every moves, and that he's controlling everything, and that he gave us free will, and they're just the old ideas, the old concepts. And I was asking one of my friends, like, when do you think it'll get, the Bible will get to the point where people just look at it like it's a mythological book, like how we look at, the Greek mythologies and those other mythologies? And I think someone else mentioned it in the comments on one of my other videos as well. I think the Ancient Aliens video, someone mentioned, like, I wonder when that's going to happen. And, that question came up and to one of my friends as well. It's a great question that, to ask, like, when is it going to actually be deemed as a mythology and, people will accept it as a mythology instead of the truth. Well, I don't know when that'll happen. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if there will be repercussions for that happening. But, for now, all we can do is change individually and become better people ourselves instead of relying and waiting for everyone else to change just so we can feel normal. For me, I change all my thoughts. I change as a person. Whenever my dad comes up to me and, talks about, praying and stuff like that, I still do it. I mean, what's the problem with praying? Like, what's the problem with, settling your parents? Like I said in my grandpa video about my dad, like my grandpa, when he was dying, he gave his life to the Lord, which is the number one thing. The number one thing for a Christian person is to give your life to the Lord. And for him, for my grandpa, I'm sure my grandpa was never religious at all. And I'm sure my grandpa did it just to ease my dad's mind. My grandpa I'd like to say my grandpa was a really wise man, just because he did that act. He was not selfish in it, and he did it because he knew that it would calm his son down in the time of mourning, in the time, it would help his son understand that, life is life, and it's, grandpa's not going to be there anymore. The more I think about it, the more awesome I think that is, my grandpa, what my grandpa did for my dad. So amazing. Now I gotta figure out, okay, I'm gonna use dirt, fill out all these spots. Oh, actually, let me see what it takes to make steps. Do I make steps like that? That's a single step, but how do you make a stair set? Is it only with this? Yeah, there you go. I don't know if I want to use those. I wish I could use Let me see. Okay, that's cool. I'll do this. Make a lot of steps so I can just go ham on the steps. Yeah, I'm thinking about my dad and my grandpa. They're so, honest about their opinion. About their beliefs. And I think about myself and I compare myself to them. I have no conviction in comparison. My grandpa, he had his thoughts about nature, because he obviously grew up, well, not obviously for you guys, but for me, he grew up in a very nature-based community, because he grew up, on a basic farm. And for him, it could never be more clear that for him to believe his own things. I mean, it in his face, like God and everything that he would ever want to believe in is directly in front of him, and he's interacting with it all day, every day, which is nature. And for me, I see myself in a space where I can't really experience life outside of social means, meaning like not memes but means. I can't really see this, my experience here on in the city I live in as a particularly spiritual or learning experience. I can't see myself learning anything from the people who live here. Not saying that I won't and that there isn't anything to learn. I'm just saying, like, I don't see myself ever growing as in my own philosophy, I guess, here in this place, just because it's not feasible. All right, so this can be steps that can go up here, and then I need some steps that can go up there. So let me see, steps up here. I need 3 steps, I think. I can knock these out. Yeah, there you go. Then I can put the right here. There you go. That'll look cool. Sweet. All right, so I'm just trying to build these steps, trying to make sure that I don't make a mistake. All right, that's cool. There you go. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, son. All right. Let me see what's down here. I need to make steps that go down this way. Yeah, so my grandpa, he let me see. What was I talking? I don't even remember what I was talking about. What I was going to say about my grandpa, but I think I've pretty much covered that. And the grandpa. If you guys didn't see that episode, you can definitely go back and watch it in one of my past uploads. I think it's just called Grandpa. I talk about what my grandpa thought about life, and his dying what is it? Basically his last act of goodwill towards my dad or his son. Like it was amazing. It was an amazing revelation for me. Like once I thought about it, I was like, wow, my grandpa did that without me knowing it because I was too young to understand it. There's a lot of things that I'm still way too young to understand right now. Like there are things out there that I just don't understand. I don't conceptualize. And maybe in the future, all my ideas will change. Maybe in the future, I'll be like, man, I was very naive. I was very naive at that time in my life. And that just, that's just average, normal, normal life. That's just what happens. You grow up, you learn about things. Sometimes you learn about things sometimes you learn that you were wrong the entire time you were thinking about, your life and stuff like that. And I love when that happens. That's why I love science, is really because of that one aspect, is that you will learn, you will change. Your life will change, and it will change for the better. It's amazing that we can do that and evolve like that. All right, so I need to close this up. I guess I can make it go to ground level. Can make a ground level. Oh, well, how much of this do I got going down for the water? Oh, okay, I got it. Oh my God! No! Oh my God! All my stuff is gone. Whatever. God damn it! It all burned. That was one of the biggest fails I've ever done on Minecraft. Wow. That was a big fail. I don't know if I can come back from that fail. Man, all my stuff is just incinerated. Oh well. Looks like like I said, I'm never gonna end this, so looks like we're gonna have to go out and look for some supplies. Which means I might have to go to the cave again, do some work in the cave. And I think from now, since I lost all my stuff, it's time to, recollect myself. Well, actually, let me see. What do I have left? Okay, I don't really have anything left. I lost all my iron too, so. I have diamond. I can make some diamond pickaxes and go out and get some more iron. So I think for now this is good. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Minecraft. I tried to do another, Minecraft movie. So I hope you guys have an epic day, and this should come out. I'm gonna let it upload all day tonight and tomorrow, and let it render tonight when I go to bed, and then you guys will see it in your box. So hope you guys have an epic day and epic week, and peace out. God damn, girl, you got a fat ass.